Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, Notch?
Oh, it's going pretty well, man. What you up to?
Just going through and organizing my scarf collection, man.
Yeah?
Getting pretty big. I'm kind of excited.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You want to show the camera some of the scarves that you've collected?
Oh, hell yeah. So this year we got the 2014 Dark Cloud scarf. Next, we've got the 2013 Team's Official scarf, 2013 Dark Cloud scarf, the 2014 Minnesota United Team official scarf. This is the commemorative scarf at Swansea City game. Minnesota expansion scarf. This is the commemorative scarf for having bought another scarf. The exclusive scarf for people who own more than 10 scarves. The I made Bree use her fire extinguisher scarf. The I'm banned from the stadium scarf. The I skipped a meal because I had to buy another scarf. The what the hell am I gonna store this scarf in scarf. This one is oh, this is just H&M. Here we have the Elite Club Gold Level Scarf, the Six Sigma Level 5 Scarf, the commemorative scarf for owning a commemorative scarf. This is the I've made my girlfriend cry because I went to a game scarf, the I've bought 3 scarves on the same day scarf, the I tried to sneak an iron skillet into the stadium scarf, the I almost lost my job to attend the MLS announcement scarf, the formal scarf, the informal scarf, the informal formal scarf, and the formal informal scarf.
Hey everybody, welcome to Two United Fans. I'm Notch.
And I'm Kyle.
Hope you've already checked out 2 things. One is our episode on the MLS expansion that the event that we visited on Wednesday. That came out this past weekend. Go take a look on our YouTube channel and find that. The other thing we hope you've checked out is TUFcast, our audio podcast covering the NASL, Minnesota United, and NASL news. Kyle, what do we have lined up for today?
We're going to talk about Jacksonville Armada in this week's episode. We have Mr. Cole Pepper, who is going to tell us a little bit about the front office side. He does the play-by-play for the team. And also we're going to talk to someone from the supporters group to get a side of the team that the fans see.
I'm Aaron Pitchcolin, and you're watching Two United Fans.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got a fun episode here for you, and today we're going to start off with an interview with Cole Pepper from the new guys in the league this year, Jacksonville Armada. He's their play-by-play guy. So I want to thank you very much, Cole, for joining us today.
My pleasure.
All right, so it's kind of a unique interview we have here because a lot of the teams that we've talked to before you guys have been around for a while, and we've talked about, their last season and how they did and what they've done to change it. For you guys, it's coming from the ground up. So what I wanted to kind of start with is what it's taken for you guys to get here. Who's the ownership group that helped you get here? What's it look like from your perspective as the play-by-play guy, seeing this team just being built and coming into this league?
Well, I've been in Jacksonville for almost 19 years now. Worked on the Jaguars broadcast for 15 years and have been in media my whole time here. And, I can tell you that the way that they have launched this team with Mark Frisch as the owner has been a really impressive thing. And I'm not just saying that because I get a paycheck from them now, but when they first started talking about this, Jacksonville has been really growing as a soccer city, and about 3 years ago, Jacksonville hosted a friendly between the U.S. and Scotland national teams, and there were 44,000 people that turned up for it, off-year friendly. That was the match that really got Mark Frisch excited about the possibility of what could happen here. Mark's a third-generation Jacksonville guy, which doesn't sound like a guy who's been around, his family who's been around Jacksonville that long, but trust me, in Florida, third generation means something. It means you've been here for a while. His family owns Beaver Street Fisheries and Seabest Seafood. It's a seafood company here in town that places seafood in grocery stores and convenience stores and things like this. So this is a family business, and Mark has wanted to do something to really leave another mark on Jacksonville. So when he saw that 44,000, he thought, man, the excitement, the energy, this could be something in Jacksonville. Then he started investigating where he wanted to have the team, and one of the benefits of living in Jacksonville, one of the many benefits, is that there are a lot of people who live in the area who you don't necessarily think about. One of those guys is Bill Peterson, who has a place in Ponte Vedra just down the road here. So Mark had conversations with the MLS, the NASL commissioner, and he was talking about what would we need to do to have a team here. And so I think the commissioner gave him a good structure of here's what the NASL is looking for: top owners who are not going to run their organizations like minor leagues, want to run it like a major league organization, And Mark has really followed that, I think, to a T, and has really built up a tremendous group here. And the way that the team sort of organically grew from a brand standpoint, all fan input for the name, for the colors, the logo took from some of those bits of input from some of the fans, and the fan reaction has just been great. And when the U.S. came through to get ready for the World Cup, they played here in Jacksonville again. The Armada had already been launched, and there were 53,000 in Jacksonville to watch that match against Nigeria, and a lot of them were wearing Armada gear already, so it was kind of a cool thing to see.
Yeah, it's amazing just the amount of progress and how well Jacksonville has come into this league with some teams that have struggled in the past to get together in NASL. Jacksonville seems to really have it together, so look forward to having you guys in this league. And it looks like you do already have a place to play. It's not soccer specific, but you've been drawing huge crowds so far. So if you want to talk a little bit about where you guys are going to be playing this year, as well as what you think the stadium's atmosphere is going to be like, given the great turnout you've had so far.
You know, we played the first match was at Everbank Field, the Jaguars' home park, and drew almost 14,000 for that. That was an NASL preseason record. And the Armada will play there again in their final preseason match against Tampa Bay Rowdies on March 28th, and then the regular season opener against FC Edmonton on April the 4th. The rest of the time, the home matches will be played at Community First Park at the baseball grounds of Jacksonville. That is the Jacksonville Suns home park, the AA affiliate of the Miami Marlins, and they've done a remarkable job to figure out how to make that conversion. Obviously, the seasons overlap, so scheduling had to fit just right, and we just had our first match there last week against Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and really, I mean, it if you didn't know otherwise, you'd think, okay, this is just sort of this could be a soccer park. It's not perfect. There are some things that are certainly baseball specific. That if you were building a soccer specific stadium, which Mark Frisch hopes to in the next 2, 3, 4 years, but you know, the atmosphere of stadiums can be part of the construction of the stadium, but a lot of times it's about who's in the stadium and not how it's built or where it's constructed. And Section 904, the supporters group, has been terrific. They're the American Outlaws version in Jacksonville, basically. And they've been great. You know, the flags and the chants and the face painting and the coordination and the passion has just been wonderful there so far. And then the other side of it is that it's not just there because the supporters section there behind the goal is great, but then you've got 90% of the rest of the seats that are not the supporters section, and I think we're going to see some great things there. The first match we had, the weather was bad by Jacksonville standards. You'd probably take it in a second in Minnesota.
Yeah, you can't complain too much talking to people from Minnesota.
Yeah, but it was rainy and wet and windy and clammy and just, we're soft down here as far as that's concerned. So a lot of the folks who had seats in the General Bowl were back in under the overhang, so the atmosphere wasn't quite what I think it will be most of the time. But Community First Park will hold 8,700 for regular soccer matches. Standing room only can come in as well, but there were 8,669 tickets sold for that first preseason match at Community First Park on a rotten day weather-wise in Jacksonville. So ticket sales are going to be very good. And I think when you look toward those two matches, particularly the season opener against FC Edmonton, the Armada certainly is eyeballing Ottawa's attendance record from last year.
That is really cool, and we hope they get there. We hope for the whole league's sake that everyone's pushing for those attendance records. But let's move a little bit now into talking about the team itself and how you see this team performing. Now, when we're talking about preseason and some of what you guys have done to build up to here, some of those are great attendance records have come with some big wins, too. So if you want to talk a little bit about what you see as the players that you guys have been bringing in, as well as how that's kind of built up to the first season that you guys are going to be playing in.
Yeah, the general manager is Dario Sala, the former FC Dallas goalkeeper, Argentinian, and he wants to play that South American style, a beautiful style, not necessarily the kick it over the top to a target forward, chase it down, and then get it to the side and cross it in or whatever, whether it's the English style, American style you want to talk about. He wants to play that South American style, as do the co-head coaches Guillermo Hoyos and Jose Luis Villarreal, who are both Argentinian as well. And so a lot of passing, and so when they've gone and found players to fit this system, they've looked for very skillful players who are good, in space and very accurate in terms of passing, and then who can finish. So they've signed Marcos Flores, who was the former Australian A-League Player of the Year. He's likely to play maybe a deep center forward position, false nine if you want to refer to it that way. Also Keita from the Guinea national team, who had a brilliant goal against Philadelphia in the opener. He's missed the last couple of preseason matches with a calf injury, but he should be ready to go this weekend against Charleston. And Pascal Million, who has 21 caps for Haiti, who just got called back up for Haiti, is a forward. And then the other one is Jamal Johnson, a former Manchester United Academy player and Blackburn Rover. So there are some very skillful players up front, but this whole system, and they're really going to overlap with the right back and left back and send those guys forward quite a bit. The whole system really is predicated by the goalkeeper. And so the first player they signed was Miguel Gallardo. And Miguel had been in Orlando. A lot of people in Orlando thought that when Orlando City went up to MLS that he would be one of the goalkeepers who would be brought in, continued on with the club. He was not. And, they really wanted to play kind of a Manuel Neuer sweeper-keeper kind of role, because a lot of times he's likely to be back there with just a couple of defenders, just the two center backs, because those two right back and left backs are going forward. And they're playing a 4-3-3 generally is what it looks like they'll play. So Gallardo is definitely going to be a key guy for them this year in goal, because you've got to have somebody who's good with his feet, who can start building from the back, and who is aggressive coming off his line and can make that quick snap decision about, do I stay or do I go? And he's got to make that right decision.
Yeah, that sounds like a really exciting team, and for a first season team, you can kind of see from the league as a whole how it's progressing, that the first year in, Jacksonville has a very, very good looking team. This isn't going to be, I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't see this being an Indy 11 start where they do have some great people but are working on figuring out the competitive side. You guys look like you're going to be competing right away. So how do you see this season playing out?
Well, I think there will be some moments of real brilliance from this team. I mentioned some of the guys up front. Jaime Castrillon, who was the leading goal scorer for the Colorado Rapids a few years ago, was in the midfield. So they're going to be able to score some goals, I think. But because they play such a risk-reward style, there will be some times, you just can't be consistent every time. There'll be some times where you go, what in the world is happening here? It's going to happen. So I think it's going to be, from a performance standpoint and a snapshot of form standpoint, I think it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. But I think they have the quality of players. They've got some good veteran players, guys who have played internationally, guys who have played in the Swiss Super League and the Australian A-League and La Liga 2 and some of these things where they've played at a very high level, and I don't think they're going to be overwhelmed by the stage that they're on. So to me, one of the big things is, do they stay healthy? Always a question. Number two, do people start to figure out the style, and is there a way? And I don't know the answer to this, but is there a way you can counteract the style that they're playing? And will other teams in the NASL have the technical skill to be able to counteract that in some way, where all of a sudden now they've got to change things? You mentioned Indy 11. I think it's a great comparison because they did such a great job getting the fan support and the business support, and I know that our management talked with Peter Wilt quite a bit about what they did as far as that's concerned. And I interviewed Peter on our radio show. I guess it was toward the end of the spring season, maybe just beginning of the fall season last year. And he said, "Yeah, team president, I get an A, but general manager not so good." They needed to get the right mix of players in there. So I think you're right that the expectation anyway is that this Armada side will be better than that on the field. It's so tough to judge. You see how many the player movement in the NASL, and you see how many guys move from team to team or move from league to league, 1 year in and out. I think Fort Lauderdale, who had a pretty good regular season, then found their way all the way to the championship final last year. They only have like 5 guys back from last year's squad. So there's so much turnover in so many of the teams that contended last year. You certainly expect Minnesota will be a very good side. You would expect New York to be a very good side. And so I think we're going to have to see. But I wouldn't want to hazard a guess in terms of where the Armada will finish on the table. But I think they're going to have a very pleasing style. I think it's going to be a very fan-friendly style of soccer. And I think they're going to be very competitive every time they go out there.
So before we take off here, I want to thank you again for joining us and spending the time. But people this year want to listen to the Armada and listen to you give some play-by-play. Where can they find you guys?
So we've got all of our matches televised, and of course, they'll be streamed when we have our home broadcast will be streamed on NASLlive.com. And then on radio, we have a weekly show on Fridays at 3 o'clock, and you can listen to that via iHeartMedia on Sports Radio 930 in Jacksonville. We also post our shows as a podcast, and also we do a Monday podcast that we put up there. Bob Veal, a former English semi-pro player and longtime coach, is my co-host on that. We kind of review the Armada match from before, and you can find all that on ArmadaFC.com as well as some of the different places you can go to get your podcast subscriptions lined up. So we try to push out a lot of information, and we also have a weekly television show, and you can find that if you just follow the Armada on YouTube. We'll put all the weekly shows up there as well as airing on CW17 here in Jacksonville. So keeps us busy, and we've had a lot of fun doing it so far.
That's good. Great to hear there's already that much media coverage on you guys. So again, good luck this year, and thanks again for stopping by.
Thanks very much. Look forward to the matchup between the Armada and the United.
So thanks again, Culpepper, for coming on our show and talking to us about Jacksonville Armada. This team, even though it's a first-year entry into the league, is looking really, really impressive. And it's cool what they've been able to do, jumping in at a fairly quick timetable, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Their production quality on their videos, I've watched a couple of their games now, is incredible. I mean, seriously, probably top 3 in the NASL at the moment from what I've seen. Great YouTube channel as well. Recommend that you go check it out and take a look at what they're doing. Another impressive part about this team, though, is its supporters. Section 904 is what the supporters group is called. They're doing some incredible things. They've got a lot of people involved. I had a chance to speak with Sebastian Cardona, one of the directors of game day operations for Section 904. So to close out our episode, we're going to play that interview with him right after this break.
Alright, this is Gigi, and you're watching Two United Fans.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Two United Fans. With me is Sebastian Cardona, who is the head of the Jacksonville Armada supporters group. Sebastian, thank you so much for being here today with us.
Of course, how's everybody doing?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. We are, keeping it kind of warmer than normal in Minnesota at the moment. But hey, there's a question that I've been meaning to ask you, which is, what's your group's name? Is it Section 904?
Yes. It came from the area code of the city, and actually our stands having 904 seats.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. So the area code is also 904, huh?
Yeah, it's the area code. So the team was like, well, we were planning on calling something like that the bleachers where we're gonna be at. So we were just like, okay, how about we call the supporters section Section 904, and we just kind of ran with that idea, and that's how we kind of want to take over the whole south end of the stadium, just being the whole side Section 904.
Gotcha. So how'd the group get started?
When they announced the team, it was pretty much just all social media. It was on Facebook, on Twitter. They had a meeting for the U.S. Cup, for the Gold Cup actually. And that's where it kind of got started. Jake, he went over there and he talked to everybody, and he kind of got the page going. And then after that, we just kind of started chatting back and forth. I got involved pretty early. The rest of the leaders got involved pretty early, and we just kind of took it from there.
And what have you guys been doing while you waited for the team to start playing its first games?
Well, at first, it was just kind of like all planning, organizing. After the team got actually, organized and started doing events, like, for example, the name unveiling and things like that, we started showing up at these events and just telling people that, you know, we're going to be the, you know, the unofficial, you know, supporters group. And we just started getting people interested. We got the first batch of T-shirts, and that kind of organized to actual membership. So people are official members. They get a T-shirt, they get a sticker, and a membership card.
And how many official members have you all got now at this point? Which I think we're about 3 weeks from the first home opener.
We're actually, yeah, the home opener is on the 4th. So right now we're planning on everything for that. You know, the tailgate, the tifo, getting all the chants. You know, kind of knock them down, make sure that everybody knows going to be singing and, you know, what to expect from us.
Gotcha. And how many members have you all got signed up so far?
So far we have about 230, 250 members.
That's incredible. That is amazing, actually. Fantastic. Y'all actually, I mean, I saw for your first preseason game, y'all had 14,000 folks in the stand, which is also amazing. What was that game like?
It was incredible. It was like electrifying, you know, to see finally everybody there supporting the Armada. You know, so much, you know, like a year and a half of planning and, you know, having a vision and then finally seeing come true. It was awesome. And then, you know, of course, you know, we won. So it could have not been any better the first half, which is, you know, nonstop emotion, you know, goal after goal. And it was just, you know, so much, so like everybody was so happy. Everybody couldn't, you know, believe it. As soon as the end whistle went off, everybody just went up on their feet and everybody started chanting, and it was just awesome.
That's incredible. Do y'all have any kind of unique things that 904 does as a group so far that y'all have decided is kind of, you know, I can't say tradition because it's been such a short time, but do you have things that, you know, you think will become traditions over time?
What we like to do is kind of blend in different cultures of supporter groups from around the world and kind of, you know, hopefully make it like our own culture from Jacksonville. So we take things, for example, from Colombia, from South America, kind of like the type of chants and things like that. We take the marches, which are usually huge here in the United States. So kind of do a tailgate, and then before the tailgate, we kind of get together and do a practice. And then the band, when they do the practice, we try to get all the members to come together and kind of do like a preview and just get everybody hyped. So then we would do the march, and then from the march we set up in the stands and, you know, start the tifo, and then just kind of take it from there.
That's very cool. So where do y'all march to the stadium from?
We usually have a designated area. It's probably going to be right behind our stands in the parking lot. So we bring out, you know, the food, all the drinks, you know, tents, and we just kind of get everybody together and get everybody hyped up for the game. And, you know, we're not allowed to do any, you know, smoke bombs and things like that inside the stadium. So that's when we can have our fun with a flare here and there. That's when we try to get everybody hyped.
Very cool, very cool. Do y'all have a place picked out yet to watch away games?
Yeah, there's a couple good soccer pubs around town that we're thinking about. One of them is where the American Outlaws meet up. But Jacksonville's so big, it's so dispersed that we can't just have one bar because our members live all over town. So we're thinking about having 2 official bars, one downtown and one towards the, but every split up. The people in town can go to that one, and then just kind of, you know, get the party going everywhere. And then also it helps us spread out. Like, we're not going to be just in one side of town, but we're going to be everywhere.
So the feed that I had for you just now just cut out while you were saying the place that the second bar is in. Could you just tell me the place again? Which part of town the second bar is in?
The first one would be at the beach probably, and then the other one would be downtown.
Okay, gotcha. Very cool. That's awesome. That's really cool. And you have so many more members that you can probably fill 2 bars, which is incredible. That's fantastic. So, Sebastian, I think those are all the questions I have for you right now. I'm sure as time goes on and we have more to say about Jacksonville and the things that you guys are doing, we'll have you back on the show at some point. But thanks so much for spending time with us. Can we find you on Twitter?
Yes, well, of course, Section 904. My Twitter is SCBASCAR22. And then, you can find us in any social media where we're posting things and, letting people know what we're up to.
Terrific. Thanks so much again, and we're going to take a quick break and come right back.
Thanks everybody for watching Two United Fans.
Well, and you know what to do next. You can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube to get all the latest news, photos, all this other great stuff that we put on there. Or if you want, you can like us on Twitter, subscribe on Facebook, and follow us on YouTube. Whatever you want to do. But thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.
Bye.